nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other, the older shall serve the younger. When her days to give birth were completed, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out with all his body like a hairy cloak, so they called his name Esau. Afterward his brother came out with his hand holding Esau's hair too. His name was called Phinusira. Was called. So they called his name Esau. Afterward his brother came out with his hand holding Esau's hair, so his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. When the boys grew up, Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was a quiet man, dwelling in tents. Isaac loved Esau because he hated his name, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once, when Jacob was cooking stew, Esau came in from the field, and he was exhausted. And Esau said to Jacob, "Let me eat some of that red stew, for I am exhausted." Therefore his name was called Edom. Jacob said, "Sell me your birthright now." Esau said, "I am about to die. Of what use is birthright to me?" Jacob said, "Swear to me now." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentils too, and he ate and drank and rose and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So look, chapter Genesis 25. May idagdag dito. Genesis chapter 25. The story. Esau's birthright. Nabasa natin kanina yun sa story about Esau first birthright 19 up to 34. The generation of Isaac, but I will read this verse of Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. The death of Abraham. Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. As Sarah stands for the mother of us all. So, diba asawa, first wife niya, no? Abraham si Sarah. That is, of those who by grace are one with the true son of promise, of whom Isaac was the type. And then Romans 8:17, and if children, then hearers of God, and joint hearers with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. So Keturah we did after the full blessings of Isaac and her children by Abraham, that will stand for the fertility of Israel, the natural seed, Jehovah's wife. Hosea chapter 2 verses 1 up to 23. Say unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sister, Rohama. So hindi ko lang ito basahin. Taas masyado. After the future national restoration under the Palestinian covenant. Deuteronomy 30 verse 3. that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. The Palestinian covenant gives the conditions under which Israel entered the land of promise. It is important to say that the nation has never as yet taken the land under the unconditional Abrahamic covenant, nor has it ever possessed the whole land. The Palestinian covenant is in 7 parts. Sa Numbers, Genesis 15:18, verse 18. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Covenant, the Abrahamic covenant is formed and confirmed is in 7 distinct parts. Will make of thee a great nation, fulfilled in a threefold way. Then in a natural posterity as the dust of the earth, namely the Hebrew people. In a spiritual posterity, look now toward heaven, so shall thy seed be, namely all men of faith, whether Jew or Gentile. Fulfilled also through Ismael, will bless thee, fulfilled in Tois, temporally, spiritually, and make thy name great. Abraham is one of the universal names, and thou shalt be a blessing.